What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. It's on the left side here. We have Plunder, Adventurer, Runick going up against Brandon Despia on the right side here. Before we dive in, over to like, comment, subscribe. Helps turn a lot around the 10k in support. We are going to be seeing the Plunder deck end up winning the die roll here, going to be able to go first. And we're going to be able to start off with a field spell activation there, which is going to allow us to search for a Plunder card by discarding a card, which does trigger the Plunder cards in our deck. I don't know how good this deck kind of is. We're going to be seeing them discard a tip, which is not going to normally be your greatest discard here. But I don't really know how good this is. I don't feel that Runick's very good right now in this current meta. I know it's very good against like Ryziel, but having the ability to play against Malice is just unfortunate. Like, you do not want to pop any of their stuff, banishing their cards and allowing them to like pop off, essentially banishing one of their Malice monsters and they activate the effect, summoning back from the deck, like, or from the banished zone. Like, it's just a very hard punish there that I personally myself wouldn't really feel like it's comfortable playing. But I suppose that if you're playing like with the like Plunder cards as well as the Adventurer cards, it can, like, if you have a negate up, you banish one of them and then like you just negate with that kind of lead. But we're gonna go for a Plunder combo going up into the Jord, which is gonna be the newer, I should say, Pendulum monster here. It's the only one that we kind of have. It's the Earth ship, I believe. The only one worse now is like the Wind ship. I don't think that's not a real thing. But there's not that many Wind decks in this current meta. I know like Speedroid pops around and like Rika perhaps as well. But we have plays around it. We are going to go for like a Plunder little combo here. Again, I don't think this is like the best deck. It's definitely a little bit more roguish. It's going to be able to let us add back, and then we're going to put it in the Pendulum scale, and we're going to ask for the effect of Pendulum to allow us to summon out 2 tokens here. Going to allow us to give our opponent a monster without them activating a hand trap, so that we can go up into a different monster. We're going to see now the black guy is going to be targeting to add it back to the hand, and then we are going to be dropping into Nibiru on the summon, which is going to be pretty nice there. It's going to be putting a light monster on the field, though, or in the graveyard if we do find a way to get it. So if we do kind of continue our Plunder combo, we will be able to get up into a list, which is a very important card. It's going to be a negate here. But we're going to be seeing the Runick tip going to activate now, searching for a Runick Freezing Curses, I believe, or it's going to hit a Droplets on the opponent's side. Now we just set one and pass on this, and that's not going to be kind of great. You know, Nib kind of just shut off this entire combo here. Now we do activate a High Spirits, which is going to be revealing an Albaz. Now this can send the Titaniclad to the graveyard or an Albion. Now we're going to go for the Titaniclad, which lets us summon out a copy of Quem during the end phase here. It's going for a kind of a wider combo. We're going to see us search for now the Albion, because we do discard that copy of Albaz. And then we have the Cartesia in the hand already that we can summon itself out, because we now have Albaz in the graveyard. And we can normal summon out the Kit. Kit's going to activate the effect, allowing us to search our deck for a branded related card, most likely being a branded fusion. Now, interestingly enough, we didn't activate the Albion first to potentially just draw into a card, because we could have drawn into perhaps that branded fusion or anything else, and we could have put back a card with the Kit. So we're going to be seeing the Albion now going to activate sending for cost, sending a branded in white here, and then we're going to put back and then draw. I don't exactly know what card we end up putting back into the deck with this. It looks like we put another copy of Albion here, so we knew that we were going to put back that one, unless we drew into something like even worse, maybe hatch like a Tragedy or something like that. We're going to now go for a branded fusion, going to activate setting the Tragedy itself alongside the Albaz to go up into Lubellion here. And then we are going to be seeing the Lubellion as well as Tragedy going to be able to trigger, and that's going to be discarding a branded sword. It's just a very good card, especially against Runick, being able to banish some of your cards, either being a copy of like Albaz or whatever to go up. But we're going to be seeing no Quem chain to this, so we're going to summon out the Mirror Jade on that, using the Lubellion as well as the Albaz, and then we're going to activate the effect on summon to dump the Albion, and then we're going to be banishing that token. We're then going to go battle phase and attack with the Mirror Jade here. And this should be game on board if we don't have a way to interrupt this. We're going to go for the summon now of our monster on the attack of the Cartesia, so we don't die. Hugon's going to activate the effect, allowing us to discard, and we do activate the effect of the Plunder card that we ended up discarding off of the Hugon. We're going to search for a Fountain as well as summon out the Golden Hair, so we are going to be protecting ourselves, and we do see that Nib as well as the Mirror Jade have declared the attack. And we can go into main phase 2 using the Cartesia to fuse. as well as the Mirror Jade. So we're most likely trying to summon out an Albaz during the end phase to use that Hugin there. So we're going to go for the Granganol. Granganol to dump the Sprint, which is going to be the second card that lets us summon out the Albaz here, which is pretty important. And so we now go for Titaniclad, summoning out the Quem. Quem's going to activate the effect, allowing us to dump, and we can really dump whatever we want here, perhaps a Retribution. So yeah, we're going to dump Retribution, and we still have the Albion, which is going to be able to set the Branded in Red, or add Branded in Red, or even set a Branded Retribution. You know, we are in the grind state where Retribution can be quite nice being set, but we're going to be seeing the Sprint, summon out the Albaz, sending the Cartesia to the graveyard that we ended up adding back, using itself as well as the Hugin to go for a Albion now. Albion gets activated the effect, allowing us to banish, and that's going to let us use these Spriggans as well as the Albaz in the graveyard to go up into the Rinbrum, which is going to be a negate for any of the Plunder cards, and then we're going to see the Quem bringing back out that copy of Mirror Jade, which can now trigger once again, which is pretty nice. So we have like Rinbrum being a form of negate as well, and we still have the Albion in the graveyard to allow us to add back or set. So we could go for the Branded in Red or Branded Retribution here, because we have so many cards that we have used already, like being the fusion monsters we want to be able to put back for another send off of Mirror Jade, or just be able to bounce back that Aluber, or not the Aluber, but the Albion to the extra deck to essentially negate the special summons of stuff. But we are going to be seeing them search for Branded Red instead. They're going to activate the Branded Red, going for Albaz as well as the Albion to go up into the Boral, which is going to be a nice another interruption as well, because we can go Boral and we can pop either the card, so the Granganol as well as the Field Spell here, allowing them to not be able to continue playing that way by discarding another Plunder card and getting like another Plunder card from their deck. And this end board is going to be quite nice. We have the Granganol in the graveyard, we have the Mirror Jade, we have a Boral as well as a Rinbrum negate. So it's going to be quite hard for Plunder kind of be able to break this. And then of course the Crackbot, we have so many monsters on the field as well. We'll be able to hit some what's the word I'm trying to say, like some of the on the Crackback we have so much we can kind of go for here. So we're going to go up into a Link monster now, and we then are going to attempt to activate the effect here, and this does get just beat by a Boral, but they have the Field Spell as well as Smithing Storm in the hand, so we have to kind of find a way to just stop this. We do negate with the Rinbrum, bouncing it back, so a very nice card, and then we still have the Boral end to pop a card here on the field. So we're going to be seeing the Runick Fountain get activate, and then we're going to go for Smithering Storm. They're going to try to summon here the Hugin, and then we're going to go for the effect of Fountain, and they are going to go chain Boral in now, and we just negate, or we're just going to scoop it up and say we're not going to negate. We're going to scoop it up going into game 2. So we see Branded getting the win there in the game 1. That was a pretty wide combo, honestly. Pretty wild. But Runick does not have a good matchup against Branded. Obviously, if they go first, they can kind of set up something that banishes their Albazes, which can be quite nice if they don't go up for Lubellion. If you go for an Albaz or Albion, you find a way to banish the cards they're going to use, or banishing the Albion. It can be quite hard for them to kind of come back from this, but a lot of times Branded doesn't lose to those Runick cards. They more so lose to the hand traps. Seeing Ash on Branded Fusion definitely can be pretty crucial. But going into game 2, we might see some D-Bear or something like that, making it so we can't really play. But Branded does have the definite advantage here. I don't really know if they know what they're playing against. Plunder being a not even a rogue matchup, just being kind of a bad deck right now. With Malice in the format, you don't want to play the Runick cards. Plunder doesn't really have the greatest matchups either. I suppose that you can just summon some cool stuff against some light and dark decks. It is really good against Ryziel. But other than that, it doesn't have that much good of a matchup. But we do have the adventure cards, and people do forget about that all the time. These engines that we have in Yu-Gi-Oh! That no one's playing that are even good. Even if you consider Paralytic Seed. If we go into a Link deck and you have Paralytic Seed being able to summon out 2 Link materials, that can be quite nice. Even if they're level 4, you can go for a Dweller, which is essentially a Floodgate and a bunch of stuff. We have these powerful cards that a lot of players aren't even playing. We have Therion for negates, being with Regulus and the Field Spell, which searches. Lilyboria as well. We have the Magnamuts, the Bestial stuff that you be able to DD Crows from back in the day. We have even the fire stuff, Princess and Hita be able to bring back out. Like whenever you have a fire deck, it's going to be kind of relevant. So we have all these like powerful engines today, and Adventure definitely is one of them, being a negate that's kind of summoned on the field that like you don't need to use your normal summon. But Daimon back in the game number 2, we are going to be seeing a Runick Destruction summon with the Hugin. Hugin is carrying the Temple. Temple will add an active effect, letting us search for a Rite of Aramesir, and essentially going to be the Runick Adventurer combo here. You know, being some of the best discards that we can go for. We're going to see Faithful being placed onto the field by activating the Rite of Aramesir that we search for the Temple that we banished, and then we can go for a Fountain, and we're going to be seeing the effect of Faithful now going to activate, letting us search for a monster, discarding the copy most likely of the second Rite in the hand. Now, normally you want to be able to send the Draco back, but we have no way to search it here, so we're going to be searching for the next turn. That we do negate, obviously, if we have the token still on the field, which is important. We're going to see Draco back being searched on the summon of Griffin. And we just passed turn on this here. So we have a negate and the Runick card kind of in rotation, but nothing really else for us. No Plunder support right now. We're going to be seeing a Fusion Deployment get activate now, revealing the Rinbrum, which can then summon up the Albaz from the deck. Albaz can activate the effect, allowing us to discard. And this one, the Runick cards kind of shine. They're going to discard a copy of Gam or Driver, and we do chain to negate that Albaz, and we do banish an Albaz, a Lubellion, as well as a Book of Eclipse here. So that Lubellion could be very crucial being gone out of the deck, you know, maybe not having any access to Lost anymore. We're going to now see the Fountain going to activate, giving us that draw 2. Then we're going to see the branded player activate Albion, dumping the Retribution, allowing us to draw a card from the deck. Will this help us beat this board? I don't really exactly know. We still have the Griffin Rider going to kind of stop it up. We still have Albaz on the field. It doesn't really look that way with how convoluted that graveyard is touching the Albaz, but we're going to see a normal summon of an Aluber searching for the Branded Fusion. Now, you do not need to negate this with the Griffin, because if you do and they have Branded Fusion, you're going to get punished. Now, we do see a Branded in white going to be activated now, and does that indicate they have Branded Fusion in the hand? I feel like sometimes, yes, it would. Now, this is going to be pretty nice, letting us use the Albaz as well as the Aluber on the field to go up into another monster here. But it also, like, lets the opponent know, I might have Branded Fusion in the hand. You don't really want to negate this. Now, we're going to see the Lubellion activate the effect, allowing us to discard a card. Discarding the Featherstorm, or I should say Feather Duster. Featherstorm is going to be the trap. But this is going to be most likely met with the Griffin, because if they have Branded Fusion, they're going to be made for an Albion, and this is going to let them make a Mirror J, which can then just get rid of the Griffin anyways. So we're going to negate that there. They already discarded a card. If they have Branded Fusion, they have it. But it looks like they're going to pass turn on this, and they just do. So we now have 2 cards left in the hand, and it's going to be back to Plunder now to kind of go off for this. Now, we can go into a tip here, which will allow us to search our deck and potentially get more going on for us. We do have a normal summon, which is going to be able to trigger, but we also have the ability to Fateful, which can now dump the spell we ended up adding last time by searching for the Griffin. So we're going to see Griffin going to search, dumping the Draco Sack, or I should say Draco back. Draco Sack's going to be the rank 7. But we're going to go up now into Griffin here. We're going to see the Draco back also being equipped to the token. Then we're going to go up into the Plunder down. We do have a Phantasme here. That's going to kind of let us sculpt our hand. If we have a brick in our hand, it's going to kind of be brutal. So we're going to go to Griffin, negate this here, leaving them on 1 card in the hand. But we have a Dark and Light in the graveyard here, so we do have the ability to go up into the list with the Plunder on the field. So we're going to go up into that here, going up into that list, and then we're going to get additional draw off this as well. And we have a Talent in the hand, so we can potentially Talents rip their hand or draw 2 here. We're going to go with Destruction. Destruction can then summon the Hugin, and then we're going to go for the effect allowing us to draw 2 more cards. They do cut. We draw into a Plunder. We're going to go now Talents Rip. They do rip the Aluber from their hand here, putting them on top deck mode with a negate. And there's going to be a negate every single turn here. We're going to be seeing the Whitebeard going to be sent to the graveyard off of the Golden Hair, and then we're going to get the effect allowing us to summon out the Blackbeard, and then we're going to go up. We kind of explain how they kind of work. And yeah, I mean, I can't see Brandon coming back from this. There's no 1 card in the top deck that kind of like breaks this. Now we're going to be going up now for the double negate, because we can go up into a second Blackbeard, which can give us additional draw here during our opponent's turn. And we just scoop it up there, realizing the game's going to be lost. So we do see Plunder end up actually taking the game 2 here. I didn't think they had it in them, I'm to be honest. I did not think that Plunder was able to kind of win it. But we see how, like, the power of the adventure engine, having the negate continuously. Like, that was a negate every turn there, which is pretty nice. So if we could maybe get, like, the lice on the field, or I said list on the field with the negates, so you have, like, 2 negates alongside the Runick cards, then, like, that'd be pretty nice. But you're, like, kind of hoping on 3 engines to kind of mismatch together, which I can't really see happening very often. As somebody who plays Crystron and Chimera as Fiendsmith, a lot of times you don't get those engines kind of running, especially when you can't really tie them in. In the adventure engine, you don't really get any way other than just hard opening up a piece. You have some of the cards that, like, are nice together, like Runick and the adventure stuff, as well as, like, adventure with the Plunder cards, but a lot of these engines, you have to hard open a couple of the cards to kind of let you go into them. What you mean, you do have lots of Runick cards. Like, there is no, missing pieces of Runick cards. There definitely is a whole bunch of them there, but it's going to be kind of rough to kind of hard open them, especially going second. Like, going second here, which you are going to be seeing Runick do almost at least once. The adventure package alongside Runick are both not the greatest going second here, especially against a deck like Brand and Despia. Like, we're going to be able to pop off completely into game 3. We do see a Tikaboo there, which is going to be hard for the deck to kind of play through as well. So we're going to see a normal summon of an Aluber, and chances are our opponent is not going to hand trap us. Normally they are not playing hand traps alongside those Runick cards, so we're free to go off. The one card they would have is Ash, so we can see the Ash on the Brand Fusion. If they don't have that there, they don't really have any other thing to kind of interact with us. Maybe some board breakers thrown in there, evenly matches and stuff like that, lightning storms, decent cards this format, but I can't see us kind of find a way to go off. So we're going to see Brandon most likely going to be able to pop off here in a full combo. We're going to go for Brandon Fusion using the Albion, or I should say the Cartesia, as well as the Albaz from the deck, and then we're going to go up for Albion now. Now, Albion's going to be banishing the Mercurier alongside the Cartesia and the Greybeard to go up into the Granganol, which can then dump from the extra deck or from the deck, but also give us the ability to search off of Mercurier. So perhaps dumping the Lubellion from the main deck here, or we already have it in the hand. Searching for a Bestial, I'm not exactly sure here. So we are going to be seeing the kit going to be added to the hand off of the Mercurier, and we do opt to dump. We thought about Titaniclad there, but we're going to go for Lubellion in the main deck instead. And then we're going to be seeing the effect of Tag Out, and Lubellion will be able to place the Lost onto the field here. Then we have the Lubellion effect or Albion effect in the graveyard here still. We also have a High Spirits. We now go for the kit summon itself out to activate the effect, allowing us to search for Branded Opening here. And we do put back one. I didn't exactly see which one that was, but we do have the High Spirits alongside the Tikaboo still. We're then going to proceed to the end phase. Or we're going to set one card and then proceed to the end phase here, going for the Albion. Albion's going to let us add a Branded in red to our hands, and then we're going to go for Branded Opening, discarding the High Spirits. So it's going to let us play through Nibiru, because if they don't Nibiru us here, we will move to the end phase, and then of course we can kind of play. So we're going to be seeing the Quem being protected from that Nibiru summon, which we just didn't have anyways. We're going to go Quem, dump the Cartesia, which can then add itself back to the hand, and we then have the High Spirits adding itself back to the hand as well. We'll then go for the Branded in red that we added off the Albion, using the kit as well as the Albaz in the graveyard to go for Lubellion. Lubellion can activate the effect, discarding the Cartesia, and then we're going to see the Quem can activate the effect, allowing us to bring back out that copy of Cartesia, and then we do search off of Lost as well for a Mercurier, and then we're going to go up into the Mirror Jade off of the Albaz as well as Lubellion. The reason why you can do that is because Lubellion discards for cost. If anyone's wondering, like, how can he trigger that? It's not in the graveyard by the time Quem activates. It's because he discards for cost. So Chainlink 1, Lubellion, Chainlink 2, Quem, Chainlink 3, a Lost here, and then you get to summon back the Cartesia, and you get to add off Lost and the Lubellion resolve something with the Mirror Jade here. So we're going to be seeing the field spell going to be activated now, and we are going to think on this. We could find a way to go up into the if we find a way up to go into Borland here, it's going to be pretty nice. We do see Flashing Fire on the Mirror Jade. We're going to change Sprint, and that's going to let us banish the Lubellion here. They thought about the Aluber, But a Looper can be quite nice in the graveyard here as well. We're going to send a Sprint, and then we're going to go for a Fountain, try to put back and draw one. So we really need to draw some cards here. We have a Talents in the hand as well. We do draw into a Flashing Fire, or a, yeah, I think it was Freezing Curses for it. I'm not exactly sure. The Runick card. I haven't seen them in quite a while here, but it's one that then negates the effect, essentially. We're going to see a Talents on the take, and they're going to chain the other card to banish the top 3. And we see a Thrust, a Talents, and a Monster. And we do take the Mirror Jade there. And then we're going to go for a normal summon of a Blackbeard. And we could link away. So we're going to be seeing the Tikaboo being flip face up. Essentially saying, like, yeah, okay, you're not linking away. This Mirror Jade's staying on the field. And they can keep it because it is a worm monster. But we're going to have to get rid of our Cartesia because it is a spellcaster. And we would choose the Quem over that. And then we have the Fairy as well, being the Aluber. And, of course, Kragan will get sent to the graveyard because it is a spellcaster as well. And we can just banish it from the graveyard. We don't have any need for it to go. We're going to go for up into an SP now. And then SP is going to attempt to be able to banish and we do see, yeah, attempting to banish the Tikaboo. We do go Chain Link to Quem, summon back out the Mirror Jade here. And we are going to see them go end phase. Cartesia is going to add back. Sprint's going to activate the effect. We're going to see the Sprint being summoned here. Okay. Sprint can add us back. We have nothing really good banished that we can add. So we're going to add the branded. In white, maybe? Yeah, we add branded in white and we can put back whatever else we don't want. I feel like we put back Cartesia there. We don't really need to. I mean, the card should be put to the bottom of the deck, but we're going to be seeing the Plunder player end up scooping here. Realizing the game is going to be lost. Like, they have Mirror Jade, they can just beat over it with the against the SP. Then they have enough, like, so much stuff on game already, and we have like big monsters on the field. There's not going to be very much we can do. We have like, I think, like 2 cards left in the hand, and it's not going to be enough. So we just scoop it up there. Whereas the game is going to be lost, and we see Brand end up taking it in game 3 against Plunder. They didn't really open up any of their adventure cards there, most likely the Plunder cards, and going second, Plunder and the Runick are not obviously the greatest, so they did struggle quite a bit there. Regardless, watching the video, don't overlike, comment, see more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.